What up? What up? What up? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Good deal. All right, here we go. All right, this is Derek, aka Fat Bob B, fries at the bottom of the bag.com. And I'm here with
Your boy, the color commentator, Kevin, the dark skinned zombie. We are live, unalive, while alive at the same time. Whatever. Yeah.
Let's go. All right, so we just got off of a live, where we kind of talked about the
Unalive.
new Andre 3000 album, the New Blue Sun, and we kind of went through what our thoughts about the album was, and what we thought, how we thought it was perceived, and where we thought this kind of ranked with some of Andre's previous works. But now we're back on, and what we're going to do is we're going to kind of talk about or break down this Andre 3000 interview with GQ. So we're just going to kind of go through this video and kind of dissect it a little bit, kind of break it down in pieces. Some of the stuff that I haven't watched the full interview, but some of it that I watched, I thought was really interesting. I thought it was kind of worthy of us kind of, looking at and talking about, and just seeing what we can gather from it and break down. So I'm ready if you are, sir.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, let me get the video. Here we go. Let me know if you can't hear it.
Okay. I can hear it.
Like, I like seasoned food. Like, I hate bland food.
Okay.
So I season my clothes a lot. One of my homies told me, like, after I finished Hey Ya and I played it for him, he said, man, if you put that out, man, your career is over.
Should we stop there and
Yes.
kind of talk about that?
Yeah.
That's kind of wild, right?
I agree. Because I couldn't stand Hey Ya too at the first time
Really?
hearing it. Well, I knew it was going to be beaten down.
Uh-huh.
Lord, and it did. You know what I'm saying? It's constantly on the radio. And
Yeah,
they did.
yeah.
I hated it because of the repetitiveness of it. I'm not saying
Okay.
I can hate the song. Yeah, separating the song from the other stuff. Also, Eminem's greatest song that everyone in the world loves from the movie. I just because they played it so much made me crazy.
You talking about Lose Yourself?
Yeah, Lose Yourself. I just
Yeah,
it
I
just
get that.
hits me in a yeah. But and what was the other song from the same album? The Love Below. One of them they kept playing over and over.
Roses, right? It was
Roses, yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
But still, both of those songs are stellar songs.
They are.
They are. I mean, like,
but 20 years later, I can still feel that just playing it over and over and over and over and over again. But that's my hatred for the radio more so in commercials and stuff. But yeah.
But those two songs are amazing, and I mean, dare I say, timeless. Like, I think those songs are going to be played.
Yeah.
Those are songs that can be played 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, I believe, So
true. Very true.
But I think it's crazy. Like, you always hear artists, there's always artists that have those stories where they're like, oh, so-and-so was in the studio and I played this for him and they was like, yo, that's trash. Like, yo, don't do that. And then, like, they turn around and they release that song, and it turns out to be like the biggest song of their entire catalog. It's kind of crazy how that works.
And I think I remember Andre saying this is the last time I'm performing this. I think it was Roses. I remember he said that on whatever Grammys, one of the award shows.
Yeah.
One of the part of the Video Music Awards or musical whatever one. But yeah, I remember he just said it right before. I just thought it was so cool. He just said that I'm not performing this anymore. But yeah.
All right, here we go.
That's like one of the coolest things about the recording. Like, I'm actually listening to myself be a baby at something, be a baby at this new machine that I've never touched. This feels like 80s doctor's office,
I think it's cozier than that.
psychiatrist's office.
Psychiatrist's office. There we go.
Find the season.
Come on. Hold on.
Yeah, I want to make a point. The sound is great compared to other stuff we watched.
This is
Quality.
unbelievable.
Quality. I'm talking about quality.
Hold on, let me.
Yeah.
What is this? YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube. Killing.
Freaking
Hold on.
advertising.
We're almost there.
Yeah, guys. We're looking. Hey, guys, we're looking for sponsors. For anybody y'all want to come on the site, get sponsorship.
Anybody want to pay for YouTube Red for us, and we'll do
there
that.
we go.
Here we go.
That'll be our first investment.
That's amazing, man.
Oh, thank you, man. What's up, man?
What's up?
Bring it in, bring it in. I like the shirt.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Yeah, you know, stripes.
Now this part right here is what I'm gonna find interesting. I think here I'll play it, but it's just number one is the fact that they're in a laundromat, right? You know, and honestly, I used to love being in laundromats. I love being there washing clothes. Like it felt like therapy. I don't know what it is about laundry. What, you don't think so?
I know. Can't stand it. I remember going back to college with me and you. Remember we tried to wash our clothes one time we stayed?
Man,
I don't know. It's weird.
That's different. I mean, that was on campus, right? Was that not on campus?
Yeah, on campus. Yeah.
I mean, laundromats are different these days, bro. Like, I mean, it's just like you get to see the people. And
I had that experience. Then I lived in one apartment where we all had the shared, you know, the per floor coin laundry thing situation like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It wasn't great. I can't stand. I said I vowed to never live in a place without it after that point, and I have not.
Bro, we're talking about they got these industrial size washers and dryers, they wash stuff quick, they dry stuff in like 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like this was cool stuff, but it's like just being in this environment, watching people come in and out, it depends on then I mean it just depends. Like, I mean, you can get in there, you can read, you can work on something. If you can study, you can do whatever. Like it's just a cool environment.
When were you last in one? Because I was probably in. This was.
It's probably been years now.
Before I was married, 2007, 6.
It's probably years. I mean, maybe when we moved to, maybe around the time when we moved to this place, we before we had like washers and dryers set up and all that stuff. We were using the laundromat. So, but I don't know, man.
Mine was an apartment complex. It wasn't like a public one. Mine was like, everybody on your floor used it.
Yeah.
But people would just take your stuff and open your stuff and take your stuff out. It was just bad. I don't know. And no one waited. There was nowhere to sit and wait. That kind of thing. It was just awkward. But anyway,
here we go.
But it's amazing that Andre does this on purpose.
Yeah, normal shit.
Yes.
Just trying to be like you.
It's stripe time. Get your stripe. Yeah.
We should make it clear that you actually use this laundromat.
Yeah. This is a laundromat not too far from my house.
How'd you end up out here?
I was making a move from New York, and it was really supposed to be like a 6-month kind of reset. Come to California, get some sun.
Hey. What is that?
I got it from Ramses the Great Museum in San Fran. We went to this thing, and I bought this just as.
And now he's just the laundry guardian.
He hangs out I sit him in the windowsill of my car. Like me and my son, kind of like, and I think Seven may have put like just a plain rubber ducky. And then when I saw this one, I was like,
that's beautiful.
We're gonna freak it. Like that's the Egyptian one. So
and
it's
like your son a little bit with you too, which is beautiful.
I
think people would be surprised to know that you go to a laundromat to do your laundry.
Yeah, but only for that kind of convenience thing, and it's fun for me because it gives me a chance to kind of to be out in the world, and like when I'm putting clothes in the dryer, I usually go out in the alley and practice. I play my instrument out in the alley, and it's just something to do to get out in the sun a little bit.
What is important about being out in the world?
Real quick.
Okay. Meeting people, like I met.
It's just interesting to hear someone who's so antisocial intentionally does things to be social. You know what I'm saying? That was just a thought that popped into my head. I'm like, he's been hidden for 20 years, Nobody's really seen him in 20 years, and he's doing things like this to come back to the public. It's so crazy to me.
Well, yeah.
Or do you think he needs this? Do you think he needs human interaction?
I mean, I think it's just that search to be. It looks like he's just looking for normalcy. Like he is.
Yeah. Okay.
He's trying to be a regular person, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they haven't been regular since like what? They were like 19, 18, 19.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time. Like they've been in the public limelight, and people have kind of, you know, for the most part, known who they are and everything else. So it's like it looks like he's just trying to be do normal stuff, be a normal person, have normal conversations with people without them fanning out or wanting autographs or trying to get something from them, you know. So.
Yeah. And they don't make a point. Just his ability to hide for the last 20 years, he gives a good, Prince used to hide away.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Prince was I was like, Andre's another great one at hiding for the last almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Making a point, comparison. But yeah, that's it.
Okay.
But yeah, right. I think it's a good point. Normalcy.
This old lady here, she was from Vienna. I had my bass clarinet at the time, and I was kind of playing. And she says, the music that you're playing, it reminds me of my old country. We sparked up like a real cool friendship. And she was like, if you come here next Saturday, I'll bring you all of my old record collection of classical music from Vienna. And she told me a time to meet her, but unfortunately I was late. And so when I came, she wasn't around. So I hadn't seen her, so I'm hoping she's still alive, you know.
Okay. Do people clock that it's you when you're here?
Nah, she didn't know who I was. It's kind of like, some people may recognize me, like, oh man, that's cool, but it's not like crazy. Like, I kind of like where my life is, where I can come and do this. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of my contemporaries, like, I kind of feel bad for them, you know, because we got children, and like sometimes like some of these people can't even go out without having paparazzi follow them, and it's like, it's not, that's a whack ass life.
See, like you hear how he's talking. I mean, that's like maybe that's part of it again. Like that's part of the hiatus that he took, is just like to kind of let his own hype die down. Cause like if let's say he kept working, he kept doing let's say he kept doing like what Kanye is doing, like been pretty like consistent and hard at it over, several years. Right. Yeah. So he is still hot. Like Kanye is still red hot.
Sure.
So yeah, it'd probably be hard for him to do anything. But with Andre, I guess like him letting that hype kind of die down, kind of again, maybe that allowed him to kind of somewhat be normal. People not recognize who he is, or a generation not know maybe exactly who he is, you know, and he's able to kind of fly under the radar to a degree. Because like, all right, so he's not recognized by, let's say he's not recognized by like young people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he'd be recognized by like our generation, because we're a little older. So we're gonna have a certain. I imagine. I like to think that we'll have a certain perspective. Like if we did see him, we're gonna be like respectful of who he is. We might recognize him. We may try to talk to him, but we're not gonna like completely like fan out and like disrespect him and everything else. Like we're gonna try to have some boundaries there and try to understand.
That's what I try to do. Yeah. If you celebrities I've seen, I try to be that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like if I saw Andre, I'd be like, dang, that dude looks like Andre. That's what it'd be like that. I'm like, oh shit, that is him. That kind of that's been my experience with celebrities. I've seen CeeLo before.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
If I see Andre, I'm definitely getting my picture though. I'm getting a picture.
Gotcha.
For sure.
I did. I saw CeeLo walking in Lenox Mall late when all the celebrities come in. And I was like, dang, that dude looks like CeeLo. You know, he's short. I was like, same height. And then he walked by, and I was like, that is freaking him. So the tattoo on the back of his head. And I was like, but that was it. And what was the dude? 7-Up dude, black dude, the drumline coach or teacher. I forgot his name.
Oh, I don't remember the teacher's name. But...
Yeah, but it was him. CeeLo walked in, and then when we got to the stairs, walked out the other dude walked in. I was like, all the celebrities are coming in the shop because they were closing. Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Life, man, like I kind of like some normalcy, even though it's not normal, but I came from that. Like I used to hang out at you know, the laundromat. Like when we didn't have a wash and dry at our house, my mom worked at the beauty salon, so it's like I'm in these places, social kind of situation.
All right, YouTube.
This is for after work.
You see all the views. They're like, hey, we gotta get this
Unbelievable.
ads on here.
Unbelievable. All right, here we go. Skip this side. All right, here we go.
What do you mean by that?
Walk with your family and not have people follow you and chase you, and you can't take your kid to the park and play because people will
Was your
follow
life
you.
ever like that?
At certain times, I think maybe at the height of Outkast, over years of like letting it simmer a little bit, and I'm older now, so a lot of people, they see me like, you look like him, but nah, that ain't 3000.
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's funny because it's like when you're 19, you're probably working towards like anything but normal. You know, you're working towards like,
That's so- it's so funny.
let's be successful. Let's see where this can go.
Exactly.
And then you spend the back end of it trying to work your way back to the.
it's life. You want what you want till you don't want it. Me and Big Boy used to literally pray every night, Lord, really, we just want to be good rappers. That was our prayer. It was called like a rapper's prayer. Like, Lord, we really just want to be good rappers. And we did that. And it's kind of like, now we're seeing that it's happened. I love that it's happened. Like, I don't regret any of that. But it's kind of like now that I'm at a certain level, I miss certain things about normalcy. And like, I'm an only child, so I've always kind of been to myself anyway.
I didn't know that. Did you know that he was an
Yeah.
only child?
Yeah, he says
Okay.
it's in the song.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
But,
I never really. Maybe I didn't. I never
really-
paid attention to that. But I
They
didn't.
never mentioned that. Oh yeah, I thought you would have been all over that. Yeah, I thought you knew that. Yeah.
Oh my God! Why would I be all over it, Kevin? What? Because I'm an only child? Oh my God! This guy, man.
I thought
Whoa.
you to put that together and be like, that's why you love him so much. But anyway, yeah.
I love him because he makes
Hey,
great music,
Yeah,
Kevin.
I know. I didn't make
Yeah.
that point. Just joking.
Yeah.
But back to that. And I'm sorry, I was thinking about what we kind of talked about earlier too. But then and they're talking about it here. That fame is truly a prison. So many people talk about. I mean, from Michael Jordan talked about it. He had a great one. You know, feeling alone, standing around, millions of people around him, but
Mhm.
lonely. But yeah, it is truly a prison. That's crazy that he's worked his way out of that prison of fame, which is cool. I could imagine. I would love to have the fame, but then I would think I would hate it for that same reason. And to work your way out of it is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I think it would bother me too, or it affects your brain as it does.
Yeah, that's crazy because he probably, like, hearing him say that stuff it's like he probably, you get the sense that like, yeah, like he would probably still do music and all. That's probably something that I'm gonna bring up Tupac for you because I know you talked about Tupac being in jail, and when he was in prison he didn't want to write. He didn't write when he was in prison because there wasn't the, like it wasn't
Great
inspiration. And
Yeah,
maybe
great
that's the
value.
same thing where it's like it's kind of robbed him of his inspiration, like to do what he's great at. He's probably great. He's great at a number of things, but I'm saying like one of the things is like making music. So to be great at it, and to understand that when he does create whatever it is that he creates, when he puts it out, it only adds fuel and flames. It only fans the flames of his stardom and celebrity, which leads to more isolation. So it's like it's a weird cycle.
Yeah, double-edged sword. That's a great
Yeah.
point. That's great. I was gonna say something else, but oh yeah, to all you Fries Bingo fans, just want to make the point that Derek said it to Tupac. I don't even know why. I'm the fan of Tupac.
Because
but-
you love Tupac, Kevin. You love Tupac. I do too. I get it, but
I know.
you fan out. You fan out.
I do. But that's making the
I kind of
point
like
for all
my solitary kind of chill life. And I think you do have a choice.
But you could still live the other way if you wanted to. Are you ever like tempted to like?
That's the problem, the balance. Like, I do have an urge because I want to create things. Like, I'm happiest when I'm creating things. And I was talking to my manager and publicist. I had to really ask myself, do you want to possibly be famous again? Like, do you want to turn it up again? And I was like, well, I'll just put the record out and just don't do any press for it or anything like that. But then it's kind of a disservice to the music because I want people to like check it out. I want people to hear it. I had to find some balance.
We've been a little coy. You have a whole flute album now.
Ooh, pause. Pause it a second.
I wouldn't call it a flute album. It's an album, but I am playing wind instruments. Sometimes it's native flutes, sometimes it's digital wind instruments, which I actually discovered right before we started recording the album. Some of the songs, what you're hearing me go through patches on the instrument, and you hear me figuring the instrument out. So it's new, which I thought was really cool. To me, that's like one of the coolest things about the recording. Like I'm actually listening to myself be a baby at something, be a baby at this new machine that I've never touched.
A document of this exists.
Yes.
It has a name.
Yes, New Blue Sun. New Blue Sun is the album.
Many people will ask, why Woodwind album?
I ask myself, why anything? Like, why did we record these albums before in my career? Like, it's just kind of those are the things that came, I would say it's probably this felt more real and authentic to me. Like, cause I don't stop trying things. Like I always try, recordings, and I try vocal things. I even try to jot down ideas and lyrics here and there, but none of that excited me. It kind of felt like I'm trying to do a thing. You know what I mean? And I don't like when I'm trying to do a thing. It just felt inauthentic, and this felt like the realest I could be at the time.
People who pay close attention know that you're creating all the time. This is the first thing though that actually is making it out in the world.
I've actually played some wind things that I've put out in the world that I call myself another name under different artists that are out there that, I was just kind of testing it out in a way.
Wait.
Huh. Were you aware of that?
I'm not, no. Lord, no. I'm not until I watched this. I was like, whoa, he played on other stuff? That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not know that.
That was cool.
That he actually did play under maybe another moniker or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so you have anonymous Woodwind?
Stop it a second. I was going to make a point. Back to the woodwind thing and playing the different types of flutes. A couple of comedians I listen to, Shane Gillis is a very successful one, and him and Matt McCusker have a podcast. Matt was playing a couple months ago. He would play, I think, that same flute he's holding in the picture behind. I think it's that same one. He would talk about how if you hit this whatever register, it can actually, massage your brain and put people to sleep. And he talks about how he would play his, and his wife would just so relax. And he was just practicing. He brought it on the podcast a couple of times, and Shane, his podcast maker, hated it. He just didn't believe in it. But he just, it's an interesting realm. But okay, now back to you. My question, Wu-Tang. Or the flutes from the old, the Japanese flutes you used to hear in all these old Asian movies. Those ever kind of spark your interest? I've always been curious about those, and I don't know.
No, I mean honestly, I don't know. No, not really. All right, spark my interest in what way?
Just curious who played them, how they play them. I think about. I'm comparing to. I'm just using Wu-Tang because Wu-Tang focused on such old videos that they all began and ended with some sort of flute. From the Bruce Lee movies to all the other ones.
Interesting. No, honestly, not really.
Think about. Yeah, I thought about it, and I think it was that there's a game that here's Ghosts of something that's fairly the last couple of years. They use a lot of the woodwinds in the game I'd watch on YouTube. But just interesting things, just different parts of you find out you like, you're curious about.
Yeah, you might need to tell me, figure out what game that is, because I'm wondering if that's a game that. Yeah, one of my coworkers, I think that they may have played that game that you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sure it's a very popular, big deal game, like the Assassin's Creed. That level, it's the high level. Yeah, Ghosts of Tsushima.
Okay. I think that may be it.
That's it. That's got to be it. It's the most popular, that style game. But go ahead.
All right.
Been recordings out there already.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, from known artists.
Really?
And they've been cool about keeping it secret. Yeah, I wasn't sure how to present the wind thing because I would just be on the street and play, because I play in nature a lot. I just play hiking, walking, in the city, wherever. And what started to happen was people started kind of filming me on their cell phones and posting it and making beats out of it, which is cool to me. But I was trying to find a way, how can I share my love for discovering this wind instrument with more people, where it's just not this kind of where's Waldo, there's this dude playing kind of thing. So in approaching I knew I wanted to do a wind-based album, but I didn't really know what I wanted to sound like. I had influences, I had ideas, and I
What
kept
were the
just
influences?
Influences ranging from Coltrane to Philip Glass to Steve Reich.
It's a very intimate record. I've heard it. It's like getting a very like luxurious and expensive, but very like tender mental massage.
Nice, I'll take it. I describe it as just like pure like breathing.
I was going to say that's, you know, all right, going back to the recording, the people recording him part, like when people, like he was talking about the where's Waldo part.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the interesting part because what's that?
I said ironically he's wearing stripes too, you know, like Waldo.
Oh yeah. But that's the thing, like it, when people were recording him and you were seeing these videos pop up, it almost was like it felt more so like people were worried about him. Like you know, people would get these videos and then, you know, you would see them online and it was like people were wondering like what was wrong with him or what.
Yeah, like he's had a psychotic break or something like that. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, like they thought he was having a breakdown, or they thought, you know, they thought like something was up. Like, why is he out here playing, you know, this instrument? Why is he not, you know, living?
I didn't think that, but yeah, I think the world did think that. I didn't think that. I knew he's mastered so many instruments, so I was just like, this is just the next one on the list for him.
Yeah, I always thought people, you know, thought that he, I mean, had lost his mind, so to speak, that he was just out here, like how, you know, a lot of people just couldn't imagine that here's this really successful musician who is out here just on the streets, you know, looking like, you know, like a vagabond and just,
exactly,
you know, just like look disheveled and not, you know, like they're like, why is he not living like this luxurious lifestyle?
I see that, and I never thought. I mean, me and Krista would talk about this. I don't know. I felt like he was chasing like a Prince, wanting to play all his albums, like he did on Hey Ya. He played all the instruments in that song himself. And I just thought he's just chasing greatness, just like you know, being like a Prince who could play all that stuff. I don't know. I just never put it that way.
Okay.
Ooh, did you ever see? Sorry, side note. Did you ever watch the Jimi Hendrix thing? Because didn't he play Jimi Hendrix in a movie? I never watched it.
He did, but I haven't. I never watched it. I haven't watched it.
It's weird. I tried to watch it, but I can't find it. But anyway, sorry. I just triggered that. Yeah.
You know, and living, and the way it was recorded, it was all improv and spontaneous. So we were living it. What you hear on the record is how we heard it as we were doing it. It wasn't planned. It wasn't like, hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do these chords, and we only talked about feeling. You know.
Man.
Shop Toys R Us now.
They're really hitting us with the holiday advertisements.
It's Black Friday month.
Dear God. I mean, Thanksgiving's not even here yet.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing?
Gotta sell. That's the corporate chill.
Are you apprehensive?
Very, very, very apprehensive.
Do you feel like that played into decisions you made about Outkast too?
I think just in general, when it came to figuring out what we would do creatively and where my creative juice is coming from within Outkast, like there was a certain point where I just didn't know where else to go. You know, I didn't, like even now, like people think, oh man, he's just sitting on raps, or like he's just holding these raps hostage. Like I ain't got no raps like that. Like it actually feels, sometimes it feels inauthentic for me to rap because I don't have anything to talk about in that way. Like I'm 48 years old, and not to say that age is a thing that dictates what you rap about, but in a way it does. And like the things that happen in my life, like what do you talk, like I gotta go get a colonoscopy, like what do you what do you rap about? You know what I mean? Like my eyesight is going bad. Like,
but you're not just any rapper. Like you're a top 5, you know.
All right, man, we got to talk about that part. All right.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, what do you think about some of the stuff that he said when he brings up age and then like, you know, the ability to rap and such?
I mean, I still think he's still top three. He could go against anyone, any top tier rapper on earth, I believe. But I think he put himself at such a high level that he won't allow himself to rap. You know, his critique, getting past his critique, I think if he just went and rapped and or freestyled, blow so many people out of the water. That's just my opinion of him. But question, do you think? Okay, let's go with your boy Eminem. Few people, many have challenged him. I'm gonna go ahead and say no one has beaten him. I think Andre is one of the few people who could possibly, if he wanted to, challenge Eminem.
I can't do that. I can't do that because they're two totally different dudes. They're two totally different dudes, two different styles, and I don't think that.
I'm just doing the verses. I'm doing the verses in my head, and I'm like, whew. Verses. I'm not saying verses meaning play their old stuff. I'm saying verses meaning two extremely talented people who can, you know,
What I will say is that like I think Andre has never, like, all right, I would definitely put him top 5, but I would also say that I don't think he's ever cheated the game. Like, I don't think he's ever cheated people with music. Like, I always felt like he gave everything he had, especially when he was rapping. Like, I can't recall like a terrible Andre verse, to be honest with you. Like where I felt like, he's just mailing it in. Like I think whenever he picked up his pen, he was really trying to channel something. That's what I always felt about Andre. You know what I'm saying? Like,
true. So, I think even if I compare, let's just compare just Outkast albums. I can't compare it to anything else but themselves, meaning their greatness. Right. Like I can say, I feel like Stankonia was a great album, but it was a little less than Aquemini. But you know what I'm saying? I'm only comparing it to like the point, you know, 999% difference of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to lose my point here.
Well, let's do this.
Okay.
Let's go back to the age thing. He says that he's 48.
Yeah.
I think that for me, I would argue that he's 48. He should perhaps have more to talk about now than even then, because he's had all of these life experiences that he can draw from.
Yeah, things he can give back to community. Yeah, like what Jay-Z says he does in songs. Yeah. Yes. But I did that. Now do this.
You know, so I don't know. I mean, that's just me. Like I could argue that, but it does seem like a lot of artists when they do get older, if they do continue to do music, they do change up a bit and maybe try to switch. They might try to switch genres, or they something totally different. They try to challenge themselves. But like you were saying, like I really and like I was saying to somebody else earlier, it's like I do think he's probably his biggest critic, and he is harder on himself than probably anybody. And I think the only person he is battling is himself. Like I think he's in competition with himself. Like I think that's what it is.
No one else.
I think it's about the self-doubt and feeling as though he can't live up to what he's done previously. I think to me that's what 90% of it boils down to is having to live up.
And we as fans, all we want is a snip of that whatever he threw in the trash. You know, the rhymes he threw in the trash would be got tremendous to us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As fans.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just what I think. I think it all boils down to him feeling like he can't live up to the hype or live up to expectations of what what he's created based on the stuff that he's put out. So him and Big Boy and Outkast as a whole and all that.
And he probably thinks he maxed out. He said, I hit the pinnacle. I went whatever diamond, triple, quadruple, but gazillion diamond. I mean, you like literally conquered the mountaintop.
And then at that point, like we talked about before, is it worth it? At that point, like, is it worth it to continue on when really the life that you want to live is you just kind of want to be in obscurity and just be normal and live out this normal life. You know what I'm saying? And like you were saying, like do these normal things, colonoscopy and
True. Yeah.
bad eyesight and all these other
Yeah.
things. Like, you know, so
But do you think? Okay, now, but then I have that double-edged sort of his chase for creativity is insane. But we all want it channeled in rap, of course.
Mhm.
You think you could find some sort of inspiration in the world to help him rap? You know what I'm saying? Something, some person, some place, something to find. You know, and I'm sure he's probably tried because I think that's kind of the point he's kind of making with the names of the songs. He wants to, but he just hasn't found it.
Yeah. Maybe so. I mean, I don't know. I just don't. I'm not in his head, but I'm like maybe that just doesn't. Maybe like it's one of those things. Like maybe he's tried. Like maybe he has tried, and he just didn't feel. He just didn't feel as though, again, like it was where it needed to be. And so,
and to put together an entire album, how many songs you got to write to make it? You know, I don't know, 50 songs or possible 12-song album. I don't know.
Yeah. So maybe that it, you know, this is probably a lot different. The expression, you know, being able to play an instrument without having and it still translate emotion without having to sit and toil over rhymes and you know making words, putting words together and making sure that it's something that you hadn't said previously, and it's something that also is appealing, and it is also, you know, something that, you know, that people consider dope. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure,
there's a lot. Like you can really stifle yourself, like when it comes to like the writing process and then the beat making process and all those other things. So so I don't know, man. Maybe it's that whole, you know, just being able to play an instrument, you know, is a lot. I'm just saying, like, it's a lot as far as like being being able to do that. You can take emotion and translate it into something else, into that sound, and that still people can consume and digest and actually like get something from. So, you know.
Well, I got a question because you've been in the studio. Did you enjoy being in the studio? Did you enjoy that process? Like, did you enjoy just spending hours upon hours writing, rhyming, thinking? What do you think? How did you feel about that?
Man,
I'm saying this too. I got a point, but yeah.
I mean, thinking of like honestly, that process, writing is like it can't. I'm not gonna say like it can be torture, but I'm saying like
you
spend so much. You spend so much time trying. Like if you care about what you're saying, you spend so much time like trying to craft what you're saying.
Yes,
and as there were times I spent like days, weeks on a rhyme. I'm just saying, like, so it takes a lot when you care about it, and then, you know, so it can be torture on you to try to like perfect. I guess it's like trying to be a perfectionist and you're trying to do things perfect. You know what I'm saying? And he's probably a perfectionist. Like,
true. And I got some quick points to go along with. I know your favorite rapper, Lil Wayne. That's what they did with him. They kept him. But I didn't know. They know when they found out he could rap, they just kept him in the studio. That's all they did. To make him get comfortable in the studio was part of training for him. But my real sidebar was making sure I just had to throw in Lil Wayne just for you. But when I read what's it called, Malice's book from Clips. Okay, Malice and Pusha T. Pusha T loves hip hop, lives and breathes it, constantly in the studio. Malice did not care for it. He loved gospel music. This is all while he's the heat of his fame. Loved gospel music. He would come in the studio, right? He said he'd be in and out in under an hour. To the point where he'd be rhyming on rhymes that he didn't realize, like he'd be on remixes and he'd think it was his song. He'd be like, "Oh, Jay-Z's." He didn't realize he was on a remix with Jay-Z. And he was like, "Oh, Jay-Z liked that song too?" He had no idea. This is just so I'm just wondering if that love or passion plays into it.
Yeah.
That's where I was getting at. That's where I was trying to build from asking you about did you love writing or being in the studio, being around people. I don't know how you did it, but I'm assuming.
I love the creating process. I love that. And then having honestly, like when you have like recording with people was
Yeah.
was fun. Like especially like you record something, you get and hearing other people's verses and hearing what other
Yeah.
people do is like the fun of it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
being in there and everybody kind of like the discovery process of hearing everybody's stuff. Like if you're doing a song with like multiple people or whatever, like hearing people what they come up with. That was fun. And then just the being around each other and just like that stuff and listening to the music and everything else, like that's the fun part about it. So the whole creating process is fun, but it is like, again, like if you somebody that care about what you do, and for some people it's easy. For some people it's easy to kind of like do some of this stuff and to come up with stuff and to rhyme and everything else, or to come up with verses or to write. You know what I'm saying? Like some people can do it fairly easy, and some people it just takes time. So I was the type of person that took time. So it's fun, but it's torturous at the same time. But it's just creating is.
I've never done it, but I understand it. Yeah, I can understand the torture.
All right, let me play some of this.
To many people, to me, it's like you're basically being like, I have a very beautiful sports car in the garage, but I choose never to drive it. Which is your talent.
Talent is one thing, but honestly, I think timing and momentum is more important than talent and the energy of it. Like talent, it's a lot of people with talent. And we're seeing that now. Like there's so many dope people on the internet like that are just raw, but it's your timing, is what you're talking about, is if you're catching the zeitgeist of what's happening in the world. And like my goal is I want to connect. I'm not talking about nothing that I can't connect with in it.
Have you tried?
It's no use. Yeah, I try all the time. Like I'm open to producers now, like the young producers, and I get beats all the time. Like, and people send me songs like to get on remixes and stuff like that, but I don't be knowing what to talk about most of the time,
Do you think that's about expectations or lack of self-belief? Like, where do you think that comes from?
Like, I think you're your best and worst critic, and I only work on feeling. Feeling is my only barometer of what I'm doing. Like, I don't feel like I'm the best rapper. I don't feel like I'm the best producer. I don't feel like I'm the best singer, actor, none of that. It's just, for me, my gauge is feeling. And that's always been that way, even within Outkast. Like, if it felt right, I ain't care what other people thought. If it felt right, it was like, I ain't gonna argue with what it feel like. And if it don't feel right to me, which it hasn't in a while, like when it comes to rapping or vocal, type of music, I don't do it. The song is more important, the music is more important.
I was looking at the song titles. I wanted to ask you about a few.
Yeah, for sure.
The first song is called I Swear. I really wanted to make a rap album, rap in quotation marks, but this is literally the way the wind blew me this time.
In my mind, I would love to make a rap album. Like, I would love to make a rap album, but this is what came at this time, and it felt authentic.
One of the things that's so great about you as a rapper is the directness and the way that you would talk about your life. So when you said yesterday, I don't know what to talk about now, I was like, how is that?
Okay.
I feel like some people will take that. So there's still a chance. I feel like some people will take that first title as just a possibility. That there's still, he's still going to rhyme one day at 80 years old or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, Eminem's like what, like 50, something like that. And he's tenacious. He still raps like, he might lose it all tomorrow.
He does. God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That fire.
Yeah. So, everybody's different.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me see. I don't think I've seen this part. Let me see. Let me play it.
Cool.
How's that possible?
I was once in the studio with an artist, a younger artist, Tyler Creator, and we were talking about rapping as you're old. And I was kind of telling Tyler, I was like, man, I just don't know what, like, I'd rather write a book or something at this point. Like, I don't know, like, you got to do it. And I was like, why? He was like, because it shows us what we can do when we get to that age. But to make it into a entertaining song to where it's just not self-serving, or it's not just like.
Hey, Kevin, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I thought that was interesting that what he said was that Tyler said you got to rap because it shows us what you can do at this age.
Yeah.
That is so interesting. That number one, that for Tyler to have like, you know, the awareness to be like, you know, to be looking at the people in front of him, that what are they doing as they get older, and then that'll kind of be like the barometer or the gauge at which what is possible for us as we get older doing this style of music or whatnot. So I think that was interesting.
Yeah, it is. And I think he's going to go a little bit deeper. I can't remember if it's this interview or the other one. Him, and he talks about him and Tyler and Frank Ocean specifically. But yeah.
Okay.
Like, there's a part of entertaining someone else too. I know I joked about having to go get a colonoscopy and all this kind of stuff, and that's a real thing in my life. But to make that into a song, or
why not?
Like, yeah, of course, but I got to make it into a song that feels good as a song.
But your track record as making people feel good through song is
track record is one thing. The right now is a whole nother. I can't put anything else out in the world if I'm not excited about it, because how can I expect you to be excited about it? How can I expect you to think, oh, this is raw, oh, this is fresh, if I don't feel that way? Like, what's that saying with that drug addicts say? They say, well, the longer I'm out of it, the better chances I have of staying out of it. So
that's not what America wants to hear.
I understand, but it feels that way. Like, as I keep going, like, it's like you keep slowing down too. Like, people don't understand that there's a physicalness to rapping. I always say it's like being a boxer. Like, you got to think it's actually like being a boxer. But don't you think the genre is
big enough to encompass all of that?
Look at the greatest boxers now. What do? They do exhibition fights every now and then, but they're not stepping in the ring.
You know what's crazy? It does sound like he's trying to convince him to, because I've shown up. That would be me. I'd be trying to convince him, like,
yep, me too.
Yo, like to keep doing this and
everything.
Put out,
my love of hip hop would be like, any one thing, one more. Yeah.
But with him talking about the physical part of it, I think that's interesting. Because, and I say it's interesting because, like, all right, so for instance, like, we went to the was it the Family Values tour, and of course, like, Method Man and Redman were there.
That's Family Values? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was Family Values.
I didn't remember the name of it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that was Family Values.
Okay, yeah.
With Limp Bizkit, they were
mm-hmm.
The headliner. But like with Method Man and Redman, how they were, like, when they performed, especially Method Man, like, he was like a wild guy and always jumping in the crowd and stage diving and being in the mosh pit and just doing. He's always doing wild stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like Andre was talking about with the physicality of it, like, I watched a video of Method Man and Redman performing. I can't remember like where it was. It was a lot. They did a live performance, and the performance was so much more different, right? Because they are older. There wasn't that physicality was not there. Like, as they were performing, they were doing stuff like together, in unison and in sync. But like, it wasn't like the craziness. It wasn't like them jumping in the crowd and all this other stuff. Like, it was like there was a safety to it, right? They were performing gingerly, so to speak. Like, it wasn't crazy.
These are dads now. Yeah, these are dads now. But yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't want to like, you don't want to like tear Achilles tendons and all that stuff like I did and all that. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But all right, here we go.
What if rapping wasn't boxing? What if it was?
But it is though. That's what I'm saying. It is partly physical, partly mental.
Boxers,
when they're about to fight, they have to train.
I just went back to just the touring is so grueling too. I was just from all artists. I just you can imagine on stage every night or every other night, or just constantly moving. On top of, I'm just talking on the grueling and your body, and you're almost 50 years old.
Yeah,
that would be Jesus. Not that I would expect him to tour, but you know what I'm saying, or even need to tour if he wanted to run. He would need to, like an Eminem. But financially. Yeah.
That the touring part probably is. That probably is something.
He made fun of Melly Mel that way. That's what he made fun of Melly Mel. I mean, he has to tour to make money.
Yeah. Melly Mel.
Oh yeah.
So if I were to make a rap album, the best thing I could probably do is just be around rappers. You know what I mean?
But that's not part of your life right now, really.
Yeah, it's not even like, I don't even like going to the studio and just hanging out with niggas smoking all day. I just don't.
It's gotta be weird to have all that energy directed toward you? People coming up to you on the street or whatever and being like, do this, do this, do this. And you're like, I'm not going to do it.
I wish I could answer them.
That's a lot of cosmic pressure. It's like being brought to bear on you.
It is. And that's to that point, that title, the first song.
Yeah.
I'm kind of addressing it in a way.
Yeah, I think so.
The 49-minute mark makes that point.
All right.
Yeah.
We may go ahead and just cut this one short. Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll go for another 5 minutes, and then,
Okay.
we'll just let everybody know, where they can check out the rest of the video.
Yeah. All right. That sounds good.
Like for me, like washing is kind of like cooking. Like I like seasoned food. Like I hate bland food.
Okay.
So I season my clothes a lot.
We're in our uniform era, is that right?
I guess you definitely can call it a uniform.
What's up?
I still don't understand what the hell he means by season his clothes.
I mean, I guess.
You can wash them 3 times. You can wash them 8 times and let it soak overnight, and then wash them again. I don't know.
Season his clothes. I mean, I guess it depends. Like maybe he's careful. Maybe he's like selective of like the type of detergent he uses or fabric softener or I don't know. I mean,
from all. Is it from all? Or is it all or whatever it is? The regular brand. Yeah. Also, I don't know if you watched this part, but I think he's got a clothing line. I think that's going to be his kind of clothing line. But I don't know if you watched this part.
No.
But the overalls and kind of jumpsuits are going to be. He's going to have like a clothing line called Ants.
Called what's that?
Ants, like ants,
Ants?
like a bug. Yeah.
Okay.
You gonna bust him? I know you would. I mean, that was a dumb question. I know it was a pointless question. But I know you would.
I don't know. I don't know if that'll look right on me, bro.
Speaking about, this is making a point. Because we had the Outcast wear. Remember the clothing line they had back on there? I had the Machiavelli wear. I had a pair of jeans. Think about back in the era of clothing, early 2000s.
Of course you would have that.
Yeah. Yes, of course. I had one. They were very expensive. I had one pair of jeans and a shirt. Of Machiavelli wear, but yeah.
Let Tupac rest, Kevin. Let him rest. You worse than Jada. You worse than Jada Pinkett Smith, bro. You bring her.
That's wrong.
All the time.
That's wrong. Oh my God, you bring him up all the time.
It's easy for me. Like it's kind of like even when I look around now and I look at kind of what's happening in the world, like everybody turned up in the late 90s and 2000s. Our contemporaries were looking at us crazy, like who are y'all? Like y'all are from another planet. Now the planet is here, like all the kids are turned up, you know what I mean? Like, which is beautiful. I just love this workwear kind of stripes and these overalls. They're very comfortable. I call them like adult baby clothes. You just feel like really comfortable and snug, and like you have places to put your hands.
This is yours, these overalls.
Yeah.
What is the brand called?
From now on, they will have no choice but to call us the Ants. This is a workwear brand for sure. And like when you look at Ants, it's like they're always like working. I'm at the stage where I'm.
Just the way he said that just shows how amazing he is with words. From now on, they will have no whatever he said. Yeah, to call him Ants. Whatever he said. It's such an interesting sentence.
So is this going to be is that the whole name of the?
I think it is Ants. I think it's just Ants. Or the Ants.
Man, it would not surprise me if he did call that whole
that'd be awesome too. I would love it too if it is.
From now on, they will have no choice but to call us the Ants. That would be so wild.
I think it might be a good short thing too. Point to right there.
That is wild.
Yeah.
All right. We may have to go ahead and end the stream. I mean, we're coming up on about almost an hour. Yeah. So I mean, I think we made it through almost half, and we still got some gems just out of half of the video. But for everybody who wants to check out the rest of it, this video is Andre 3000. It's an interview with GQ. You can find it on GQ's YouTube page. We may link it in the description of our video. But yeah, man, I mean, look, is there anything else you want to say as far as it pertains to anything Andre has said in this interview?
I was trying to think of anything else he said. Yeah, I can't think of. I'm sure there's some great stuff too that I don't remember that I'm missing, but I did want to point out the clothing. He does for those of you who haven't listened, he does play some. He plays some more later with the interview guy. But other than that, no. I mean, we touched on a lot of great points. Touched on old school stuff and I'm trying to. I kind of think there's one other good point, but whatever. I think we did a good job overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess all I'll say is, it's crazy watching the whole process. He's lived in the public, just much like a lot of people have, like lived in the public eye from very young. Not like a child star or anything, but like from a teenager and up, and seeing where he's, him and his constituents and peers have started, and to where they are now and stuff like that. Watching some of the amazing stuff that they've done, and then also watching this part of their life where seeing Andre like age. He's aging, and some of the stuff that he's wrestling with as it pertains to something that he's been great at for so long. It's just something to kind of reflect on and think about.
Yeah, I feel like this could be a good point to a great movie about Outkast and Big Boy. You know what I'm saying? Potentially in the future, making a movie, a biopic about that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, we might have to touch on that at some point, because I do find that interesting. That I don't know. I mean, do you think that they were as close as that maybe we would imagine, have imagined?
Sorry, I just thought about something that they are going to get into later. They do get into that performance they did in 2014. You remember that? They got back together. You guys kind of go with that.
Yeah, I think that's something that.
Yeah.
I didn't get to read the article earlier, but I think Andre talked about something that Prince had maybe said to him.
Yeah, he said it went great. Yeah, he said Andre hated it. He was ready to be done. He said you could feel it. I worked with a girl who went to. At the time, I was working in Midtown. I remember a girl I worked with went to it, and even she said that. She said she would park. She parked at our parking deck, and she could walk to the concert. But even she said it just didn't. There was something missing. I just remember saying that. And I remember I was so jealous. I wanted to go, that kind of thing, but I couldn't get in. Yeah. But yeah, that's the only big point that they will get into a little later.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. And then Prince was there. He said Prince on his left side, Paul McCartney was on his right side, and he said, "Just think how crazy that is." Legends in music came to see you, and you didn't perform well. Prince made a point to tell him.
Man, and that I'm sure that would definitely make you feel some type of way when you have these legends that maybe they feel like perhaps you weren't at your best.
I can't remember exactly what he said, but he's not he performed well, but he could tell he wasn't happy with himself. I think that's what Prince was trying to, in however he put it. I may be wording it wrong, but yeah. But either way, I would probably be depressed too. Either way.
All right. Well, all right. We're going to go ahead and end today's stream. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is Fries at the Bottom of the Bag. Make sure you check out the rest of this interview on the GQ YouTube page. Also, check us out at friesatthebottomofthebag.com. Check us out on Twitter also at FatBotB4Life, and then check out our YouTube page at FatBotB4Life also. This is Derek, a.k.a. FatBotB. I'm with Kevin, a.k.a.
the Dark Skin Zombie.
Let's go. All right. And we'll check you guys out later. Peace out.
Like, subscribe.